My name is Harry, and I'm from London.
Meghan Markle here.
Today is December 11th, 2025. It is 4:55 a.m. This is video number 2. So let's continue. Let's go on X. Alright, first tweet. Let's see how long it takes for Meghan's letter to end up in the hands of Caroline Graham. The Daily Mail won't publish Meghan's letter because of the lawsuit she won against the Mail on Sunday last time. I do believe we will find out what's in the letter from Caroline. Okay, this is 2 minutes and 48 seconds. So let's listen. Screenshot, okay?
Bit of a royal update. We understand that Thomas Markle has received a letter from his daughter Meghan. Let's go to our royal correspondent Cameron Walker, and he will tell us more about what we understand of this situation. Cameron.
As I'm listening to this, I'm thinking Meghan's lawyers in the UK probably paying attention to this, to everything that the UK is playing on their national television. Okay, when they do, and Meghan probably already told her lawyers, if they do, you could just file the thing. Maybe the lawsuit already print, and they just need maybe some key issues, the date and what they say on the news before they bring it to court. They probably under ready. All right, let's continue. I'm sorry.
Cameron.
Morning, Eamon. Yeah, it's the most bizarre situation, to be honest. I've received a statement in the last half an hour or so from the Duchess's spokesperson. I'll just read it out. It says, given that the Daily Mail reporter has remained at her father's bedside throughout, broadcasting each interaction and breaching clear ethical boundaries, it has been exceedingly difficult for the Duchess to contact her father privately, despite her efforts over the past several days. With the support of reliable and trusted contacts, her correspondence is now safely in her hands. And I understand that means a letter has been handed from Meghan to Thomas Markle. So let's just rewind slightly here. Thomas Markle ended up in intensive care and had his leg amputated. And he texted a journalist who he has become friends with, really, over the last 8 years or so.
By the way, there's a comment I read in one of my recent videos where someone said, did anybody see or confirm that the leg was amputated? I didn't respond to it. I don't know if I put a like just to show you that I seen it. I don't know. Okay? I haven't come across any pictures, with the exception of the squad, who create an image of different level in the leg that probably amputated. So when I do come across it, I will definitely share it with you. Okay? So let's continue.
After Meghan became very estranged from her father in a run-up to Harry and Meghan's wedding. Her father posed for paparazzi photographs for payments, a mistake, but Meghan essentially just kind of cut off her father there. And when she heard reports that her father was incredibly ill in the newspapers, I think she tried to reach out. She first sent an email to the only contact she had for him. Thomas no longer used that email address. She doesn't have her phone number anymore, even though Thomas insists that she does. But it became the most bizarre situation because we have a journalist literally at the bedside of Thomas Markle recording what Thomas is saying and then obviously publishing it in the newspaper. So from Meghan's perspective and Meghan's team's perspective, that's breaching ethical boundaries. I think the Daily Mail would probably point out that this isn't on a whim and they're not invading Thomas's privacy because everything they are publishing is with Thomas's absolute permission, and Thomas has a very trusted relationship with the US Mail on Sunday editor Caroline Graham. So this is effectively the first contact Thomas and Meghan have had since the run-up to that wedding in...
Yeah, I think the elderly abuse kind of thing, that might be the route if there is any lawsuit. elderly abuse. Okay, despite the fact that what is it? Thomas is giving the green light or something like that. But his age, who knows what fear tactic they're putting around him. I'm not giving excuse for him, but just the kind of things. Maybe I should look into the type of elderly abuse. I guess you could find search that yourself. But I think this will be the route that they will go about if there is any lawsuit.
In 2018. So it is an important step. It could be perhaps the start of some kind of reconciliation, but I just don't see how any reconciliation can take place when there's a Daily Mail journalist in the room, or any kind of journalist in the room for that matter. So I think it's going to be a tricky situation. Is Meghan going to fly to the Philippines? Well, according to the Mail, Thomas Markle doing a lot better than he was. He's no longer in intensive care. He's in a hospital room. He's got a long road ahead for recovery, but it looks like he's stable for now.
Okay.
You could have offered her a lift with Santa.
But before Meghan got involved, what I was seeing is that the headlines were making it seem like it was grave. Meghan's father's situation was very grave. And the other thing as well, the caretaker of Meghan's father is the half-brother. I learned through that in one of the videos that I share with you. Let's just put allegedly, but that's the son, so yeah. The other thing as well, to be a caretaker and to allow the paper to be at the father's side after knowing what had happened before, the lawsuit that had happened, the brother might be in trouble as well. Because he should have been the one next to the father's bedside to protect him. It's like morality. Common sense is not in these people's brain. All right, I'm thinking of some stuff here. If there were to lawsuit, what is 81-year-old considered elderly? All right, that's the first thing here. I'm gonna use the exact word, elderly, not old. Once you turn, you old. Okay, so elderly. The answer is yes. An 81-year-old is generally considered elderly. All right. So from that point on, let me see. Let me pause and think of something here. So this is what I asked Google here. Should a caretaker of an 81-year-old allow newspapers interviewing without supervision? Without supervision. The answer here is that a caretaker should not allow a news interview without supervision. The decision rests entirely on the 81-year-old's mental capacity to provide informed consent. This is the part here, okay? If I think the brother could be sued too, if he is the caretaker of Thomas Markle, okay? This is the route that I see Meghan could go about. You could look more into all of this. Because who is Caroline Graham in relation to Thomas Markle? Just a UK journalist? I don't know where the morality, the mental aspect of these people. This is the thing here that I see here. The brother should have been on the bedside every time anybody, a third person, is next to the father. He should have been there. But I don't know. All right, you guys could look more into this. Key consideration: informed consent is crucial. A mentally competent older adult has the right to decide whether to be interviewed and whether to have someone present. However, if the individual has a cognitive impairment, such as dementia, they may not be able to fully understand the implications of on-the-record interview, making true informed consent challenging. There's more. There's a lot that goes into that. I mean, I'm not in the legal thing to know all of this, but common sense will tell you that. His age only tells you this is the elderly thing that's happening, despite what he has done to Meghan. I think this is the route. If push come to shove, this is what Meghan will go about to protect her father. All right, let's leave that alone. There's so much to be said about this. Oh, did I read some of the comments? Let's see here. I do believe Caroline Graham will print detail about what in the letter from Jasper Pen. Okay, the UK news media apparatus. Are you all not embarrassed? Okay, you all are mute and proper. Well, in my humble opinion, finding it when Kate's so-called cancer is never analyzed, debated, have multiple panelists with medical expertise, and the same with King Charles III illness, but Meghan's father is billing. Okay, highest bidder. All right, what about a hypothetical situation? What if Meghan, okay, in this hypothetical scenario, if Meghan Markle, as the copyright holder of a letter, voluntarily disclose its content or expert through any public channel, like an interview, book, Netflix, production, TMZ on social media, she will effectively be waiving her exclusive right to first publication under copyright law. At that point, the information entered the public domain via her own action, making it fair game for others to discuss, quote, or where is it? Where is it? I know I look into that already. Meghan is not giving the right for the people to publish her thing. I remember very well the first time that the lawsuit about her letter came into play. I did a video about it, and I'm so glad. I mean, it's not top-notch type of videos, but I remember asking myself question, who is the copyright owner of a letter sent? I believe that was the question that I asked. And it says the person who wrote it. And not too long ago, and I even asked about the email, the same question about email. The person who sent the email is the copyright owner. But there's some little gray line in between depending on which domain or the email that you're using to send it. If it's a company email, okay, the company has the right to that email. But if it's your personal email and you send the letter, you send the email, you are the copyright owner of it. Now, if the person responds to yours, whoever keep on responding back and forth, the person who typically type what's in his mind, okay, is the copyright owner of it. So I don't know anything else about that. You could pause and read this because I look into it, and what I saw is based on what Meghan have won her lawsuit on. Okay, you could pause and read this. Right, the letter undoubtedly has language in it to protect it from being shared or published in a tabloid. If she is smart enough to have the embassy check on him, she is smart enough to include legal language in that email to prevent it from being shared without facing consequences. It is already in her hand. They are now scheming how they can tell you what's in it without looking like a hole. He just mentioned the photographs, but that is not why Meghan broke contact. I think him selling her letter and it being published was much worse. That's an ad. Oh my God. What? I just don't understand the obsession of these people with Meghan and her family. I don't understand the obsession. Not only it's how do you call this? A squirrel to distract you from what the other royals are doing, but these people are really digging a hole for themselves. All right, next tweet. Send the feds on their asses, my queen. Nelly. There's that. Oh, Meghan made a smart move. All right, okay, this is small. I don't want to take time reading it, but when I'm editing, I'll enlarge this part for you, and you could read it. Okay, so. Well put. There's the laugh here. We got off that deathbed real quick. Out of the deathbed and straight out of intensive care. Next tweet. This is a TikTok video that's Martin. Then I need to make more coffee. Let's pause. Well, the announcement, loose lips, the Daily Mail bring it home. They're having a hard time keeping secrets. It's time to sit back and sing. Jingle bell, oh, what the fun. Okay, one thing for sure, December is very bad month for Prince of Wales, Kitty Mambo. Okay, so I haven't paid too much attention to them. So Kate is no longer part of the royal family. There you have it, December 9, 2025. Okay, let me just share that with you because I don't pay attention to the life behind us.
Afternoon, friends. I hope you're having a really brilliant Christmas day. And before I carry on my afternoon with food, drinks and festivities, I wanted to share this snap. I snapped it quickly before the Daily Mail had a chance to change the headline. Because forget Kate walking to church, this headline tells it all, guys. Because remember, the media always know a lot more than we do. Kate Middleton joins the royal family for a special Christmas day. Hold on a minute. Isn't Kate Middleton actually part of the royal family? The journalist that wrote this headline has done an absolute blinder because he or she has given us information which we've all known but hasn't been confirmed by the press. And that is, in my opinion, and I've been wrong before, but in my opinion, Kate is no longer part of the royal family. I'm not saying there's been an official divorce, but I think there's clearly a separation that's already occurred, and that separation might be legal.
Okay, so that's it with the video. Alright, just like the story of Pete and Adam, it only takes the removal of one finger for the whole dam to come crashing down. The UK media wouldn't know something, a colossal truth bomb that they have been itching to disclose for years, but have been hamstrung into silence. What it is. Where's the headline? He didn't show it. Alright, oh dear, there's all of that. He looks like Max Headroom. This was last year's news. Okay, I don't know. I don't follow. I saw it. I decided to share it with you. Alright, let me move on. My focus was to be on Meghan and the father situation. Next tweet. Alright, let's post that GIF. Every interaction Meghan attempts to have with her father, Thomas Markle, will be broadcast by the Daily Mail. Thomas is in a contract with Caroline Graham and the Mail to sell out his daughter. It's why Graham is at his bedside. This is all a coordinated campaign to disturb Meghan's peace. Yeah, I agree. I love that Meghan's team point out that since the Daily Mail was with Thomas, the Judah Markle's side at all time, it would be difficult for her to contact him privately, boss move, Duchess, or to get material for the book she is going to write. Graham is a journalist that report on Meghan and her family. She should not also be a close friend. She gathered information for the book she is eventually going to publish, disgusting, and her book memoir about him will be published by this moralless woman the minute he dies. You can convince me that she's not been working on it for years. Graham the Fell Sr. and Lunatic Jr. must have sealed that contract already. They will keep milk this saga for years. They have to contact Thomas Markle through different channels. The Sussex team is American. They know what to do. Brits are immature, especially the British media. Well, I see something in way they could undermine it, but the thing is that they are so focused. They've been at this type of tactic for a very long time. They feel like they could get away with it. All right, but the thing is that they never met Meghan, who's working her butt off, who's earning her money, where she could drag it out to the court just like the tabloid would want to. I mean, I don't think she wants to drag it out, but she could take them, that's the word I should have used. She could take them to court, unlike the way the Daily Mail have bet on other people's privacy who don't have that much money. I think in the past, Daily Mail or one of the papers in the UK have had somewhat access illegally to some people, celebrities' medical information. So these people, that's the thing, they also at ease of doing this type of things. But they have done this before. But the only thing here is that it's playing right in front of us in real time. They literally put someone right by the person's bedside they have no family connection with, and the person is elderly. I don't know if there could be any lawsuit in the Philippines about that, and I think the hospital might have some issues there. If they don't want to be sued, they're gonna have to comply. I don't know. There's a lot of angles, I'm not a lawyer, okay? Keep that in mind. I'm not a lawyer, but if you look at different angles in which lawsuit can probably taking place, yeah, including the brother as well, who is the caretaker, and he should be by the father's bedside and don't deal with the paper, especially Meghan have had a lawsuit with the papers. I don't know. I think Meghan is being nice to the siblings, but if she contact them privately and let them know, look, if you don't stop this BS, I'm gonna have to take legal action against you for allowing the papers to drag our father, to the papers like that. So there's a lot of angles, I think, that could be argued in court. And the siblings, especially the half-brother, if he is the legal caretaker of the father, he could be in trouble too. All right, so yeah, I was just thinking about that. I thought I'd share it with you. All right, next tweet. I just love how Meghan continued to move along and ignoring the noise, but the most beautiful thing is she's not once mentioned the halfling yet her name is in their gabs 24/7. Her ignoring them is making them combust. They thought she was going to get to the bed, Dad. And the thing is that knowing her experience on the Oprah interview, she's going to try her best to not mention their name at all. Because anything that she said, these people are going to run to the court. Meghan doesn't have time for that. So she's going to make sure to keep their names out of her mouth. All right. She doesn't know those people. There's that. Let's pause that. It's when they write about her secret nods message to British royal family that my eyes roll back in my head like Vegas slot machine. Breaking news, royal expert exposes how Meghan raising her brow and elegant inquiring is a subtle jab to her sister-in-law scared and wonky flying away eyebrow. Okay, Samantha and her brother never liked Meghan or Doria. She was jealous of how close Meghan and Dad was. She was the one who pushed the dad for those pap photos and made sure he missed the wedding. Okay, I'm just gonna say allegedly. These are things that I've been saying allegedly, but the thing is that if push come to shove, the caregiver of Thomas Markle might be in trouble too. Okay, 100% this. She hasn't even uttered their names. That's the part here. Yet they're obsessed with everything she does. Suck to be them. All right, next tweet. Okay. Pause. They keep underestimating a self-made millionaire and globally travel humanitarian who navigate Hollywood, that's Hollywood, without a single controversy to her name and left a whole royal family with her prince. Exactly. I've said this before in other videos. The Daily Mail. Pay people to do investigation on Meghan when all of her thing was on social media. 3 million eyeballs on IG was following her, but yet they went to the Flintstone type of investigation, fly people from the UK to the US to dig dirt about her.
The Sun hired an American private investigator to obtain personal and private data on Meghan Markle and her father, Thomas Markle. The PI then sold illegally obtained data to the Sun, though the paper denies knowing that it was gotten illegally. The Sun immediately tasked notorious Los Angeles-based PI Dan Dano Hanks to mine Meghan's data after news broke in October 2016 that she was seeing Prince Harry. Hanks obtained her social security number by deception, a criminal offence in the US as it is in the UK. Hanks also stole the data of Meghan's half-brother, her mother Doria Ragland, her ex-husband and 2 rumoured former boyfriends. The same day, a secret dossier with this ill-gotten information and Meghan's mobile phone numbers and addresses was emailed by Hanks to his handler James Beale, the US editor of The Sun. Byline investigators seen an invoice for $2,000 for the work sent by Hanks to The Sun's London HQ and a remittance advice note proving that he was paid at least $750 for the information on 11 members of Meghan's family and friends. In his exclusive interview, Hanks described Meghan's social security number as a key identifier, beyond the reach of legal searches, which would enable other PIs to dig deeper into confidential records, opening up all the other private data held on US government and state databases. The Vietnam veteran drove to the LA houses of Meghan and her father to photograph the properties so that the Sun could commission specialist reporters and photographers to mount a stakeout of each. The very next day, James Beale, along with the paper's then royal correspondent Emily Andrews, wrote the first story about Meghan Markle and Prince Harry ever to appear in the Sun. The story contained the first fruits of Hank's dossier, as the Sun had obtained a quote from Meghan's niece, Ashley Friedman, whose contact details were among the data that Hanks had sold. The Sun has never admitted ever having illegally obtained such information from any private investigator, and denies doing so in 2016 to Meghan and Harry. Click the links to parts 1, 2 and 3 of our story.
They find nothing. When they couldn't find anything, they were trying to pay people to talk negative about her.
know we can rely on you for being a great guy. So what an incredible friend you were to Meghan Markle is. Have you guys hung out at all since then?
No, we haven't spoken. She just wrote me a very nice thank you letter, and I framed it, and that was very nice of her to do. She just appreciated that I was honest, but it's so funny that we live in a time where everyone's like, it's such a big deal. I just did the right thing.
Right.
You know, it's okay to feel like that should be the norm and the status quo, but it's like, whoa, it's so crazy. He told the truth. I think we should all be a little more honest.
Well, thank you for doing the right thing.
Alright, they really thought this silly nonsense will trip up that woman. Alright, Daily Mail swore they finally got Meghan right where they wanted her. All of that effort only to still come up a foot short. Oh my, there's that. That fool cut his leg off for nothing. Allegedly, we don't know. It could be maybe a toe or something. Okay, Meghan is indeed smart. Let's see here. It has been very clear that the Daily Mail and their female journalist Caroline Graham have crossed ethical lines by having her live with Thomas Markle for close to 7 years now, then using him to demand access to Meghan, which is in fact access to the Daily Mail. A spokesperson for the Duchess said, okay, I read the, oh, you know what, let me read it for the sake of this video. A spokesperson for the Duchess said, quote, giving that a Daily Mail reporter has remained at her father's bedside throughout broadcasting each interaction and breaching clear ethical boundaries, it has been exceedingly difficult for the Duchess to contact her father privately, despite her effort over the past several days. With the support of reliable and trusted contacts, her correspondence is now safely in his hands. Right, they really don't have a leg to stand on. Bet they were stumped when the embassy rep turns up. Always one step ahead is our Meghan. Right, exactly. It's wonderful. She won against them already, so let them go point it again, this time vile. 100%. Never a millionaire, globally travel yacht girl. Has never acted Hollywood. Okay, so these are the idiots who's... I don't have time. I could easily put that screenshot of Kate and that. Forget that. Next tweet. And I have another tweet, another video to possibly make. The Duchess did what was necessary. Now she can breathe and let the ancestors take care of it. That's for sure. Alright, she will always be tested. Lisa. Oh, honey, they do. Alright, let's go to the next tweet. This one was short. That's good. Let's go to the next tweet. Okay. I don't get it. He waited for Meghan's show to air to sabotage it as always. And at the same time, he wants her to support him with her money. How does that work? Hang on, I have a meme for that. He has trashed her major work products, but at the same time wants financial support from her. Suez piece is so spot on. That's the link. And Meghan's Netflix special is 2 turnaround parts of the world. As Ever's Holiday's chocolate drop has sold out, the mainstay product are selling. Massacre Kid Rhythm Within is out of the Sussex's orange slowing down. Alright, so there's that. Alright, pause and read. I need to finish. I'm almost 30 minutes, okay? If you want to read that. Okay? Maybe that one I'll read. The power of this move isn't in its cleverness alone. It's in what it symbolizes. Meghan did what she always does. She acted with care, caution, and responsibility, but she also acted with wisdom earned from years of betrayal. This wasn't coldness, it was self-preservation, it was boundaries with backbone, it was compassion executed safely. Thomas Markle expected to leverage public sympathy again. The tabloid expected to feast on another cycle of cruelty. Instead, all they got was the quiet professionalism of a diplomatic welfare check and the unmistakable message that Meghan now chooses protection over spectacle. That's a very good way of saying it. Trailer trash, I will have cut him out for less. Normal people can cut off their toxic parents, but Meghan can't. Like I've said in past video, I think she's doing it for what did I use in that video where she don't want any regret. Okay, she doesn't want any regret, so her mental well-being could be at peace. In the future, she could say, I did my best, okay, with whatever resources that she had. The same thing Princess Diana did when dealing with the tabloid. She did her best to get the information out. Okay, they leave her husband alone for not seeing his stepmother and brother since 2021, who has not met his niece and nephew. There's the rolling eye, but the biracial has to see her sperm. I don't understand why Meghan even bothers. I think I understand. Okay, conscious. That's the word I was looking for. Conscious. If it's for her conscious, in my humble opinion. And then not only that, she has the entire world looking at her. Okay, so she has to move in a way where if she avoid her father and the paper don't write, or people don't see her quietness being as what the paper is saying, even though she's trying to do things quietly, I don't think she really care. But yeah, it goes back to conscious again for me. Yeah. Well, I'll be them. Maureen versus Chris Chip. Maria versus Piers Morgan. Okay, I have some stuff. Okay, I have 2 tweets left and it's about Piers Morgan. Okay, I'm glad I put it the way that in the order that I did here. So what Nelly is saying here, the royal rats are fighting with each other, pretty much. Maureen versus Chris Chip and Maria versus Piers Morgan. All right, Maureen versus Chris Chip. She's putting it and she's showing you where the fighting is going. There's Maureen here. Richard Eden. I will say the more honest top line will be only 70% of Britons think Harry should be giving taxpayers funded security. Okay, so there's Chris Chip here. New, the majority of Britain thinks Prince Harry should get police protection when in the UK. At YouGov poll found 17% police protection funded by the state, 39% police protection, but only if he pays for it. 28% not be entitled to police protection, paying for your own police. Okay, so that he's putting the statistic. So that Richard Eden based Chris Chip. Harry have said he wanted to pay for it, but now if push come to shove and he's doing the Invictus, that's for the country. So the country should flip the bill. Okay, who am I to argue with the pollster at YouGov? This is the nonsense YouGov usually put out sometimes. Who said majority of Britons think he should get police protection? You could pause and read some of those poll here. Okay, as was clear from the court case, paying for his own police protection was never an option. Protection officers are not available for hire. That's true. I did hear them say that in the court, but that was the option Harry had given them. Okay, who am I to argue with the pollster, YouGov, who said a majority of Britons think he should get police protection? Okay, so now let's go back where I'm getting this here. So there's Maria versus Piers. If you've been following some of my videos, Maria is a name that Dan Wootton had given himself when he was trying to pretend to be someone else on what platform? On some form of social media. Okay, If you wonder why Piers Morgan is protected by the deep state and mainstream media, it's because of his relationship with editors. When I was at The Sun, both Tony Gallagher and Victoria Newton brought stories off the market that included grim pics of a very small looking there's that here. No lies. I'm not gonna say anything. Okay. They wouldn't know, especially as Maria Joseph. Alright, so that was the response to that. Let's go back. Anything else? Okay, OMG, not Maureen and Chris laughing my ass off. People's putting the GIF to say they're looking for that and fighting. The one who started the fire is quiet and watching. Oh, stop it. What have I missed? LOL, what? Strange days indeed. Alright, interesting. Harry winning security back got all these media, fake liars, expert, stirring argument, fighting words. Here's Richard Eden again about option that private security pay was not option. Meanwhile, Andrew supposedly pays small private security. This definitely crazy. That's the laugh here. Alright, so I have 2 tweets about Piers Morgan. And after that, that'll be it for this video. First one. Okay, let's not forget she was one of those caught on the cheating website Ashley Madison during the famous data leak. Alright, so she retweeted that. No wonder he hates couples that don't take sabbatical from each other. Reminder of where he's failing as a man. Okay, Piers Morgan's wife Celia Walden took break from marriage, 6 weeks sabbatical. When was that? This sounds old. I don't know how relevant or recent it was. Wow, I did not know that. All I've heard about was Josh Duggar. Okay, that was a couple years ago. No wonder Piers has issue. 2 women he had his eyes on prefer other guys. Poor pathetic Piers. Sorry, not sorry. Yep, couldn't happen to a more deserving person. Piers been kicked off few channels and US has not been asked back. Yes, I remember. There's the laugh here. Knew he flipped white Smalley. The thing is that with Piers Morgan, the first time I came across him was when he was on CNN. I don't remember what he was reporting about, but at that time I had cable. I remember watching it. I was like, what the hell is this guy talking about? Ever since then, when I see him, I never really watched anything that he was doing on CNN until I guess they kick him out. I guess that was the way of the UK trying to ease their stupidity in the US. And now, I don't know. I think the US will, after Trump, there's a good of MAGAs who don't want, who likes the way the country is under Trump. But there are more majority of people who seeing what truly is happening. Because African American, is taking a break. But we're still watching what's going on. But if African American were to go on the street and protest and all of that, Trump will have had a reason to do what he wanted to do. But African American did not give him that reason. So now the defense, which was African American who used to go on the street and protest and all of that, the defense was no longer there. So all the barrage of nonsense that Trump is doing is affecting his people as well. So now they're seeing it. And this is why I said after the election, as much as I don't like the way the country is, but unfortunately, it seems like it had to go through it in order for some people to see why African American was crying and on the street all the time that the change needs to happen. Because if Kamala Harris had won, which a lot of people wanted that to happen, they would have prevent her from doing anything. And perfect example that I use is President Obama. He's starting to his first term, second part of his first term, and that's where the Tea Party and all the other thing, the rise of Trump had happened. Okay, so that had to happen in order for the people to see it. Let's see this. The way they outed Celia Walden and the process by trolling through her IG and past pics, is too sweet. So they were going through her thing. It's sweet my soul. There's the laugh here. Her karma is serving each and every one of those wizards and witches that do shares. From the most unlikely of places, there's that. Now they're not just dragged by the left, but by the right. LOL. Blessing come in mysterious way. Okay, I don't know. I don't follow these people. This is why I like to follow the right squaddies. So they bring the tea to me. I don't know. Well, it sort of give you a hint of how that come about. Like they just look stupid, all of them. Can have happened to a more deserving pair of twats. Okay, my DMs are back. Let's post that GIF. Whatever is here, bottom up. We're going to have fun with this for a while. Enjoy the show. All right, Pierce Mrs. Okay, who outed her. Nick Fuentes fan in a bid to get at Pierce. Okay, so that's the answer here. Okay, so Nick Fuentes fan outed them while they were trying to get to Pierce. Okay. Oh, there his picture. Okay, I read everything. I didn't even know. Nick Fuentes. Oh my goodness. So that is it. Please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. I'm gonna do one more video, and it's gonna be on PYTE. And I hope some of you subscribe to PYTE, because the positive thing, the jolly, the feel-good type of tweet, since both of my channels are monetized, I put the feel-good things about Meghan as ever on PYTE. Okay, so I'll be talking about this on PYTE. All right, so that's it. Thank you for watching.
It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life.
You are all in this together, and if I may speak personally, we are all in this together, because asking for help was one of the best decisions that I ever made. You will be continually amazed how life changes for the better.